Thanks to all the subscribers. Please like and subscribe. Now let's get into it. The government presented the testimony of Marcus Laborde, also known as Chi Town, a former 5'9" BRIMS member and leader, as the main witness against defendant. Laborde, who had entered into a cooperation agreement with the government, provided background on the rules, customs, purposes, and criminal activities of the 5'9" BRIMS, an independent set of the Bloods. The 5'9" BRIMS also go by names Primetime and Hat Boys, and operate as part of the New York Blood Brim Army, or NYBBA. Other sets falling under the NYBBA umbrella are the Bloodhound Brims and the Mac Ballard Brims. But among the blood sets, the 5'9" Brims are considered elite. When asked if he was part of any particular regime of the 5'9" Brims, Laborde responded that he belonged to the neighborhood gang called the Bread Gang, which operated in the Marlboro houses in Brooklyn. According to Laborde, if someone is part of the Bread Gang, he is either associated with or a member of the 5'9" Brims. Laborde testified that he held the title of Godfather, the highest position in the hierarchy of the Brooklyn 5'9" Brims from approximately 2008 to 2014. Laborde jumped into the high one to achieve the position of Godfather, or GF, when the then Godfather was caught stealing from the kitty, or the pot of money to which gang members contributed for the benefit of incarcerated 5'9" Brims members. When Laborde first became a Brim, he acted as a secretary for Ronald Howard, also known as Lacey, who was the biggest Brim at the time. As part of his role as secretary, Laborde had the power to initiate other people. Laborde initiated Marvin Pippins, also known as Mook, into the 5'9" Brims around 2010 or 2011 after Pippins persistently asked to be initiated. Pippins came to be known as a shooter for the 5'9" Brims because he was violent and aggressive. Laborde identified Pippins in the courtroom as a member of the 5'9" Brims and Bread Gang. Laborde testified to the identities of several 5'9" Brims associates or members through the government's photographic evidence. These individuals included James Seas, also known as Chop Wop, Montel Schumacher, also known as Buzo, Rodolfo Zambrano, also known as Latin Dinero, Jeffrey Bush, also known as Chuck or Chuck Taylor, Brian Jackson, also known as Max Millie, Melvin Pippins, also known as Melly, and defendant. Laborde testified that after the murder of Melvin Pippins, also known as Melly, Marvin Pippins, Melly's twin brother, was killed in Brooklyn in October 2015. Real Right, a neighborhood gang that operates out of Canarsie, Brooklyn, became the 5'9" Brims' main rival. According to Laborde, Melly was known primarily as a member of the Bread Gang and had a reputation as a scammer, but not as someone who committed any other types of crimes. The 5'9" Brims honored Melly after his death with posts on social media, clothing with his image on it, and candlelight vigils. Laborde first became aware of Melly's murder when he was incarcerated. He called 5'9" Brims member Jeffrey Bush, also known as Chuck or Chuck Taylor, to get more details of the crime. On a phone call, Chuck told Laborde that he believed Real Right was responsible for Melly's death. This made Real Right members Brim most wanted. Because of Melly's death, the expectation in the 5'9" Brims was murder for murder, and that Real Right members were on site for 5'9" Brims after Melly's murder, meaning that when you lay eyes on them, you do something to them on site. Believing Real Right to be responsible for Melly's death, Pippins killed Pert, a Real Right member. Laborde, who was still in prison at the time of Pert's killing, learned about this through other 5'9" Brims members. After being released from prison, Laborde learned further details about Pert's murder from Chuck and another co-conspirator, Montel Schumacher, also known as Buzzo. Specifically, Laborde learned that Pippins was responsible for Pert's, also known as S. murder. Subsequently, Pippins seemingly confirmed this fact by making a reference in Laborde's presence to smoking a Dottie pack, which Laborde took to be a disrespectful way to refer to someone who was deceased, by insinuating that you had named a strain of weed after that person and are smoking it. After Pert's murder, Pippins' reputation in the gang changed because some 5'9" Brims members glorified defendant based on the violence, and some feared him. When asked if it mattered who in Real Right was killed in retaliation for Melly's death, Laborde said no, indicating that the two organizations were dedicated to waging violence against each other at the time relevant to the charged conspiracy. Even after Pippins killed Pert, the rivalry between the 5'9" Brims and Real Right persisted. Laborde testified that Pippins had engaged in selling crack cocaine, possessing a gun, dealing drugs with a gun, firing a gun, including at Laborde himself, scamming, unauthorized use of credit cards, and killing Pert. The government's other central witness against Pippins was Khalif Watson, another cooperating witness who was a member of various sets of the NYB, including the East Homicide Brims, the Bloodhound Brims, and eventually the 5'9" Brims. Watson corroborated Laborde's testimony that the 5'9" Brims were the highest set of all Brims. Watson testified that one of the 9 rules of the 5'9" Brims was fear no foe, meaning that if you saw a rival gang member, you would deal with them with violence. Watson further testified that one such rival to the 5'9 Brims was Real Right, a gang known for scamming. Real Right's leader was John McBean, also known as Jeezy Moolah. Watson provided context regarding the degree to which individuals can be affiliated with multiple gangs at the same time or change allegiances over time. For example, if one was in a neighborhood gang affiliated with a national gang like the Bloods or Crips, one could still commit crimes with the overarching gang. Further, there were Real Right members who were once 5 to 9 Brims members, including Jeezy Moolah. Despite never being a Real Right member, Watson committed scamming activity with members of Real Right, including Telly and Bucko, and also engaged in violent crimes with them, some directed at the 5 to 9 Brims. Watson testified that around 2016, Real Right's rivals were the Bread Gang and Folk Nation. He echoed Laborde's testimony in explaining that the Bread Gang was a group of 5 to 9 guys from the Marlboro Houses projects, and told the jury that Laborde had explained to him that members of the Bread Gang were Laborde's little mans, and that they were all under Laborde. On cross-examination, Watson confirmed that every member of the Bread Gang whom he met was also a 5'9 Brims member. He identified Pippins as someone he knew in the 5'9 Brims. Before Watson met Pippins, he understood that the reason Real Right considered the Bread Gang a rival was Pert's killing. Watson even recounted being with Telly and another Real Right member one night when Jeezy Moolah called them and told them that he had the drop or physical location for several Bread Gang members, including Pippins. Jeezy Moolah told Watson and his companions to go shoot at Bread Gang members to avenge the killing of Estad. Watson and his friends complied with Jeezy Moolah's instructions and drove into Manhattan to find and shoot at Bread Gang members. After Watson's release from a drug treatment facility in August 2017, he began robbing cell phone stores to make money. Watson invited Laborde to join his robbery schemes because he had met Laborde in this facility and because Laborde was a big hat, meaning Laborde had superior status in the 5'9 Brims. For one of the 2 robberies they committed together, Laborde brought Pippins and another Bread Gang member with him. Watson had an uneasy feeling about this because of his association with Real Right and the fact that Watson had previously shot at members of the Bread Gang, including Pippins. For this reason, Watson took various measures, including offering to share the proceeds of the robbery with Pippins and the other Bread Gang member to ingratiate himself with Pippins. At one point, when Watson was alone with Pippins, Watson told Pippins that Melly was Watson's son and a cool dude. In response, Pippins said, "They took my baby boy? Did boy dirty for that?" while making a gun gesture with his hand. Watson understood they to refer to Real Right. Among other admissions, Pippins testified that he murdered Pert outside of the Weeksville housing project by firing a gun at him 6 times. Pippins testified that he killed Pert because he believed Pert was involved in Melly's murder and because he feared Pert was eventually going to kill him. Pippins testified that before the killing, Pert was on site with Pippins. Also, when asked whether the Real Rights deserved what Melly got, Pippins answered, "That's how I felt, yes, although there are convictions in this matter." I must stress that an indictment is not evidence of guilt. Charges are only allegations, and each defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Blessings.